What's up, you little monkeys? That's right, called you little monkeys. Today we're going to do a rune and review video on the Valkyrjas. Now it's been a while since we've done the like rune and review videos. We've been doing like a whole bunch of other stuff. We've been playing with the, you know, with the beginner's grind. We've been doing arena. We're doing all kinds of different stuff. And we did some of these videos a long time ago. But the monsters have changed a lot, right? A lot of the skills of the monsters have changed. The pieces of the game have changed, you know? Maybe some of them were done before Guild Wars was even out. Almost all of them were done before Rift of Worlds came out. And also some of the monsters have changed a lot since then, so we're gonna do all new. We're gonna do all the monsters again. We're gonna do just runes. We're just gonna talk about, we're gonna do this, like this one's the Valkyrja video. Then we're gonna do another one on the monster type, and we're gonna go over all the different element flavors of each monster. This way you can, if you're looking for something, you could be like, oh, that's the one I want to know how to rune, how to use, etc, etc. So we're gonna do all that. That's gonna be a new thing. So this is gonna be the first one of that we're gonna just talk about one monster type specifically for 3 hours. 3 hours! Now I feel like Angry Joe. Alright, so this is the, we're gonna go over everything. Let's start it, right? So this is, we're gonna do many of these, because I know you guys are always asking, how do I rune XYZ? Not XYZ, but the monsters, right? Okay, so, talk about Katerina. Katerina is our first one. Okay, how do we rune Katerina? Okay. Actually, well, let's talk about where we can use Katerina first before we say that. Farming, okay, we'll go over the places in the game. Farming, we have. She's actually a pretty good farmer. We've got the skills. Let's take a look at her skills. We've got the Sword of Promise, attacks with the sword. Soul Reaper automatically activate if the enemy dies. So if she's got enough damage and she kills with the Sword of Promise, which she's got good attack, right? Good attack. She kills one thing and she turns into Soul Reaper, and then this thing, if she kills something, it does, she gives her invincibility, right? So we want damage enough to kill. So that's the first thing we see. Katerina need high attack, need high crit damage, right? Then we have Sword of Discharge, attacks randomly, enemy's defense is ignored when used in invincible state. Lots of damage, big damage, okay? So when using her as a farmer, she's actually, a long time ago, I was like, oh, she's probably an okay farmer. She's a much better farmer than I realized at first, because she'll keep killing things, and every time she kills something with Sword of Promise, it's kind of like an AoE. It attacks two things, right? As long as she's critting, as long as she's doing a bunch of damage. And then Soul Reaper, we do three hits, ignore defense. It's gonna kill whatever it hits, right? For farming, it's gonna kill whatever it hits. So she's actually a pretty good farmer. For giants, not my favorite for giants. I don't see really anyone using her for giants. Maybe some people do early game. They're like, I have her. I want to use her for stuff. I don't like her for giants. Because you're autoing giants, right? You don't know what skill she's gonna use when. She's a much better monster when you have control over her. So you can do her, because her third skill is what she's there for, right? Her third skill is going to do a tremendous amount of damage. You can do over 100,000 damage with her third skill. All ignore defense, so it doesn't matter how much defense the enemy has. All ignore defense. Dragons. Let's see. Dragons B10. I mean, we're talking about B10 here, right? Same thing. Dragons, Necropolis. Necropolis, the only multi-hit she has is the third skill. So no for Necropolis. Dragons, no, because it's a fire dungeon, right? You really don't want to do a wind monster in a fire dungeon, especially since you can't control her. It's she's really bad for those. She's good for farming, bad for giants, dragons, necropolis. Elemental dungeons, still, it's a dungeon. I don't like using. She's really more for PvP, right? For arena offense, for guild wars offense. So we'll go to secret dungeons. She's not too bad for secret dungeons because she can keep killing things, but could be better. I prefer AoE monsters for secret dungeons. So you could use her if you're early game and you have her for secret dungeons. For farming, she's not that bad though. 3-team Rift of World raids. She's got no debuffs. She's really not good at all for Rift of Worlds raids. Elemental Rift Beasts, again, really don't like her for Elemental Rift Beasts. I think that there's Yeah, no, I was gonna say maybe in the light one, but no, you can't even use her in that. Because she needs invincibility somehow, so what are you gonna do? Take Chloe just to give Katerina invincibility and manual every time you do the light one, the light rift beast? That's too much. That's too much, man. It's too much. Trial of Ascension. Some people I see like to use her for Trial of Ascension. I still don't think so. She's got no AoEs, right? And then we'll get to Arena and Guild Wars. Arena, she's a great monster to use in Arena. One of the teams that I like to use her with is I like to use Katerina as the leader, and then I like to use 2 high elementals, and I like to use Chloe. This way Chloe goes first. She gives the invincibility. Katerina's leader skill is active, so it's a 55%. It's a huge leader skill, right? It's a really nice resistance leader skill. That's one of the best that there is in the game. I think that is the highest resistance leader skill there is in the game, actually. Which is crazy. So you can, Chloe, you know, Swift Chloe, use her first, and then I like to have, I actually have a slow Katerina, but there's a different way to do a fast Katerina as well. I like to have my Chloe go first. Invincibility, Fanatic, everyone, you know, invincibility for everyone. I have my Kali move next. My Kali's gonna speed buff and attack buff. Before Kali moves, though, usually the other team is faster. I like to keep barely any speed on the monsters except for Chloe. So Chloe's fast. Everyone else, the 2 high elementals and Katerina, are slow. And then I use the attack buff with the Kali, and then I do the water high elemental. Ignore defense, and Katerina's ignore defense, and things are dying. I mean, ignore defense, just randomly crapping out ignore defense damage, big damage, things are dying, right? So as long as they don't have any strippers, you're solid. I see other teams that people like to do. For example, I see people doing, so that's the one that I like to use, but that's a slow Katerina for that. Because you want everyone to move in between Chloe and Katerina. The other team that I see people using is Bernard Leader, Katerina, Lucian, and Kabezanuf. Kabezanuf is the Water Horse. Water Horse, right? Yeah, Water Horse. I was trying to remember the name. I was like, Anubis? No, Horus. Gotta remember my Egyptian gods' names. So Bernard, Kabezanuf, Katerina, and Lucian. So what's going to happen is Bernard goes first. There's the attack buff leader skill for Bernard, right? 30% attack buff. Also Bernard, Kabezanuf, Katerina, I see for Guild War offense as well. That's another thing. But those are kind of faster Katerinas. Try to get in speed subs in those. So it's kind of different than the way I built it. But that is, you go first with Bernard. You buff everyone's attack gauge and speed. Then Kabezanuf goes next. Kabezanuf is going to buff attack, power, and buff crit rate, and give invincibility to something, which is Katerina. Then you go with either Katerina first or Lucian first. I don't know who's more preferable to do. I guess you would go, maybe you would go Lucian first. If you go Lucian first, then you can still get, you can still trigger a Nemesis trap. So maybe I would try to do Katerina first, because this way Katerina, you don't know what she's gonna do, and then maybe she'll kill the Lucian, the monster that has Nemesis, and then you can just Lucian after that, or the other way around. You know, try it and see at what level of the game, if you're interested in doing that, what level of the game you are, because the meta changes, right? So maybe one way works better for how you are ranked in Arena, and if you're lower or higher, maybe something works better lower than higher or higher than lower. That was very good way to explain that. All right, so how are we gonna rune Katerina? Very amazing explanation. I know, very confusing. You guys confuse it? Let's talk about how to rune Katerina. Katerina is a damage dealer, right? She's attack. No, she's got good base HP. Don't give her, she's got good base speed, she's got good base HP. That's really nice. Her defense is not bad either. There's monsters that have worse defense, but let's see. So let's go through some rune sets. Energy, not really optimal. Fatal, yes, Fatal is a great rune set for her. Fatal or Rage. Blade is another good rune set because you need to crit. Swift is another one, especially if you're using, I know you're like, Swift, what? Swift, but I would go Swift attack, crit damage attack still. If you're using, for example, Bernard, and then Kabezanuf, and then Katerina, you at least need some speed on Katerina to make sure no one's going to interrupt you. someone interrupts you and starts doing a cleanse, then you're kind of screwed. You kind of want to have, in that team, you kind of want to have at least decent speed on Katerina. Again, it's not the way I built mine. I use mine a little bit differently though, but that's the way, you want some good speed, and she'll do a crap ton of damage anyway, right? She'll do a ton of damage even without, even if she's got a Swift set, if she's not on Fatal, she'll still do a bunch of damage. So, Swift is good for her. Focus, really not good for her. She doesn't have any debuffs. So she doesn't have a defense break or anything. Focus is basically useless, completely useless on her. Guard, she has low base defense. I mean, not low, not horrible, but her base defense is nothing to write home about. Her skills don't work on defense, so really, unless they're amazing, unless it's a rune that's like, you know, slot 6, 6-star attack percentage rune with speed, crit damage, and crit rate as subs, then it's like, okay, go guard, because that's an awesome rune. Just because it's an awesome rune doesn't matter what it is. But yeah, aside from that, you don't want to specifically try to put guard on her. There's no real point to that. Endure, same thing. She's got, if you're using her arena with her leader skill, she doesn't need Endure. Mine personally does have Endure, but I have good substats on the Endure runes that I have. That's why she's Endure. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had her Endure. Something like Blade would be better. And then Shield. Actually, Shield is not bad for her because she's got good base HP. And if you're worried that you might take some damage before you get your stuff off, Shield might not be that bad. Alright? Because Shield is based on the base HP of the monster. It'll create a shield based on your base HP. So that's not bad. Oh my god, this video is going to be so... see, it's only 11 minutes. Okay. Let's see. Revenge. Revenge is not that bad either, because if you Revenge with the first skill, you can potentially hit 2 targets. If you kill the first target that you're Revenged on, especially as a farmer, having Revenge on her, that's just free hits. So Revenge is not that bad, actually. Nemesis, I wouldn't try to get Nemesis on her, not the greatest. Vampire is not bad. She's already got a self-heal, though, with her second skill. She's got a heal. So you don't really need to put Vampire on her, since she heals herself anyway. Destroy might be a nice set to put on her, because it's going to destroy. She does massive damage. It might be nice to have a set. If you have a nice set of Destroy you want to try out on her, I wouldn't say that it'd be bad. Despair, I don't think Despair. Violent, because Despair, she doesn't have an AoE, right? She can hit one thing and then it's either... I would rather her be on Fatal or Rage and kill something than maybe Stun, you know? Violent, she could be annoying on Violent. I don't know that I would try to go. I would just rather do much... I would rather do the bigger damage with Fatal or Rage and just do bigger damage than put her on Violent. So I think Fatal, Rage, or Swift as well. If you guys are running... Like I said, if you guys are running Bernard Cabezanouf, or you want to run Bernard Cabezanouf and Katarina, if that's one of your things, then maybe try... If you have really good attack runes for Swift, that wouldn't be a bad idea. She's got good base HP. So that could be a thing. I think those are my best rune suggestions for her. Alright, on to the next one. I just want to do Katarina first, because most people are interested in her, because most people have her. On to the next one, Vanessa. Oh my god. Vanessa. I'm surprised that Vanessa actually has... Well, she has higher base defense. But I'm surprised she has lower HP than Katarina. Okay, so Vanessa has the same sort of promise first skill, which they all have, which leads me to believe that she's kind of wants to be more of an attacker. Her second skill is also an attack. It does damage based on the enemy's max HP and decreases defense for 2 turns. And then we have this third skill, revives a dead ally with 30% HP, recovers 15% for a turn for the next 2 turns, and the leader skill increases attack speed. If you're using Vanessa in Arena, use Vanessa in Arena for her leader skill. That is the leader skill to use. Alright? Don't put Vanessa as like some other thing like, oh, I'm gonna use a Chloe leader skill and then I'm gonna use Vanessa as my reviver. Vanessa's not the best reviver in the game, guys. Vanessa's kind of a crappy reviver. I'm sorry. I love her. I have her. I use her for Arena for her leader skill. That's what she's there for. That's actually the only thing I use her for, is Arena for her leader skill. That's the only thing that I use her for ever. I love my Vanessa, but that's the only thing I use her for. So what could she be good for? Farming. Not really. She's not really an attacker. She can. It's gonna take forever. Because she can, if she's built as an attacker, then she could do the Sword of Promise and attack again into the Seal of Fire. But really, I mean, you don't want to make her your farmer. No. Giants, no. Dragons, no. Because just single target damage. She's got no debuffs aside from a defense break. Necropolis, she has no multi-hit skills. Elemental dungeons, really, she's not for elemental dungeons. And you could argue, you could be like, well, I want to revive her for these dungeons. Yeah, but that's going to be a really, you're probably, when you're doing that, you're probably like doing a really, really slow team. You'd be better off with, there's better things, even 2 and 3 star monsters to put in those things for giants and dragons and elemental dungeons and stuff like that. Secret dungeons, awful. She's awful for secret dungeons. 3-team Rift of World Raids, she's not good for that either. She only has 1 debuff and it's the defense break. Elemental Rift Beasts, she's not good for that either. Because that's all about big damage, right? That's all about big damage. Trial of Ascension, if you absolutely need a reviver. Okay, so Trial of Ascension really no for the most part, but you could argue that she does have a revive, right? Just in case something dies. And then she does have this defense break that does damage based on the enemy's max HP. So if you have her as an attacker, you can go into boss levels and do a bunch of damage with this Seal of Fire. Right? You can do a bunch of damage with this, and it might, like, for especially for 100, it might be good for you. So you might want to consider actually taking her into some stages of TOA. She's not going to be your best bet, but she'll do damage based on the enemy's max HP, which could come in handy. Could come in handy. Then we have, what else? Arena and Guild Wars. Like I said, Arena, she's great. Her leader skill is great. She's good for offense. She's good for defense. Because first turn advantage is phenomenal. First turn advantage is real key to winning. Unless you I mean, there's some teams where you can make something that has the second turn advantage. We're talking Will Shield teams. We're talking Nemesis traps. Things like that. But the first turn advantage is huge. So yes, she's a goddess in Arena. She is Goddess of War Vanessa, which is one of her skins in Arena. That is what she's there for. She's there for Arena. More than anything else, because she's kind of crappy in a lot of the other ways. I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry. And then we have Guild Wars. She's really not good for Guild Wars, because this leader skill is only for Arena. Right? So you take out the best thing about Vanessa, since it's only Arena, and you're like, what are you left with? Really not too much. Not too much. She does have a revive, but I mean, come on. Maybe in the team, maybe if you're like going up against someone who has a Guild War defense of Lucian, right? Like a Bernard, Megan, and Lucian, you're like, well, I want tanky fire monsters. Maybe, but, and then she has a revive at least, but still, no, there's better stuff. So how do we want to rune her? Energy, I mean, energy is early games. Really, I don't really like energy or guard on many things. Fatal could be nice. Remember, she's got 2 attacks. So when I like to rune monsters, I like to look at how many of their skills are attacks and how many of their skills are supports. So she has 2 attacks, so Fatal is not bad for her. Most people rune her, not Swift, Violent. The most common rune set for her is Violent and some other offset. Violent Shield, Violent and Will maybe. You don't really need Will too much though. The reason that you don't need Will too much is because you're gonna get the first turn advantage. You would use Will if you were gonna get the second turn, right? But you have that speed advantage. You want to move first, so you're not worried about getting the first turn. That as soon as you move, that Will's gonna get taken off anyway. So you really don't need to worry about Vanessa. I don't really see a lot of times with Will. I see her like Violent, like mine is Violent Endure, because she is a reviver, so you don't want her to get stunned or cooldown. You know, her attack, her skill cooldown. You don't want that to happen. So Endure is kind of nice on her. Shield could be nice on her as well if you're worried about taking a bunch of damage right off the bat. But I mean, Fatal Blade, some people like to do crit damage on slot 4 though, because this does damage based on enemies max HP, so they'll do HP crit damage HP with speed subs. I like to have decent speed on mine, also because she's in a speed team, you kind of want her to at least move, right? speed team with no speed is not really, doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I have speed on 2 for mine. Mine is violent and endure, like I said. She is speed, HP, but I have just really good, overall really good substats on her. So Fatal Blade, you could do Fatal Blade or Rage Blade just based on the fact that she is, I don't really like it, that's not the way I would like to do it, but just based on the fact that she does do damage with 2 of her skills. And this benefits more from crit damage. So that's kind of nice with that. Swift, it's not bad on Swift. Focus, she really doesn't need focus. She's got one debuff. She's got the defense break for 2 turns. Guard, she could be okay on guard. She's got at least 700 defense. If you have good guard runes. Endure, like I said, that's why I have Endure. You see some Vanessas with Endure on them. Shield, we went over Shield. Will, you don't need Will. Revenge, if you have her as an attack build, Revenge might not be bad. Nemesis, really don't need her on Nemesis. Nemesis is more for healers. Vampire, this does not trigger with Vampire. So deal damage proportion to the enemy's max HP does not trigger with Vampire. So you're not going to heal from this. And then Destroy, really she's not for Destroy. She's not a tanky bruiser. She doesn't do a bunch of, unless you have her as an attacker, then maybe Destroy. But really not the optimal rune set for her. Usually Violent, you want her to get lots of turns, you want her to revive a lot, maybe get some defense breaks off. But some people like to use her. She's usually rune tanky. Some people like to rune her for damage deal. Like for example, for me, I rune her, or I could rune her with speed crit damage attack, since I'm using her kind of in a speed nuke offense, right? I'm using her a lot of times, Bernard, Megan, and Lucian. So it kind of would make sense for me to switch her from a tanky monster to a monster that's going to do more damage, like speed crit damage attack build. So there's kind of a reason that could work in my favor if I switched her to be more of an attacker. But I kind of like her being tanky enough to somewhat survive. I don't know, because I use her for defense too. So I'm kind of like, what am I going to do, right? What am I gonna do? But she's got good runes overall. She's got good value. Mine has, good speed subs, good defense subs, good attack subs, good everything subs. I just put the best value runes that I could on her. So that's it for Vanessa. People are saying that she needs a buff. Since the Water Fairy King came out, the Water Fairy King has the same leader skill and arguably better skills overall. They just do more stuff. So Vanessa's kind of just sitting there like, hey, I used to be a thing, and now anyone that has Vanessa and Water Fairy King, Vanessa's sitting there, and she's like the storage guardian. She's sitting there in storage just doing nothing because the Water Fairy King is just a better first speed leader, because Water Fairy King's more versatile. It's just better than Vanessa. So is Vanessa maybe going to get a buff in the near future? Possibly, I don't know. But yeah. That Water Fairy King is just too OP. It's just it's not balanced. So something really should happen. Either way, I'm not entirely sure what they have planned, but yeah, that Water Fairy King is so damn strong. All right, then we have Camilla. All right, let's talk about Camilla. Farming. She's got the first skill, same thing. Second skill, it's kind of like the Vanessa. In that, did I say Vanessa again? Camilla. No, Camilla. I said Camilla, right? Damage based on max HP. So it's good against bosses. And decreases attack speed as well. Then we have this first aid passive, reduces incoming critical damage by half. Oh my god. And removes the weakness effects on the character. So any debuffs, if you get crit on, she gets cleansed. Just with her passive. And it recovers 10% HP each turn. Okay. And good base HP as well, 12,000 base HP, not bad. Speed isn't amazing, defense is a little bit lower than Vanessa's, but attack is basically almost the same as Vanessa's. Anyway, and we have the leader skill, increases the critical rate of ally monsters in the arena by 33%. Damn, that's not bad. Especially if you're early game and you're like, okay, I have a Lucian that's, you could, if you have Camilla and Lucian, you're like, let me stick Camilla in the, you know, as the leader, and then my Lucian magically now has so much higher crit rate. So based on the leader skill and 2 skills being both attacks, you could say that Camilla should be an attack-based monster, something like attack, crit damage, attack, which a lot of people like to use her for. So farming, Camilla's great for farming. She's not going to keep a defense break on her very long, or a stun or anything. She'll keep cleansing herself. She's got both our damage dealing skills. She's got this is only arena though, so this is not going to work when you're farming. So she's good for farming. She's got a self heal, and she's going to reduce damage. She's a great farmer. She's not going to be super fast, but she'll be able to do basically any level you need her to do. We have Giants. She can solo Giants B9. It's not going to be fast. I wouldn't suggest putting her in your Giants team, but because it's really, you can't farm like that. You can do it, but you're not going to be able to farm. You're not going to be able to consistently do, okay, this is how I'm doing Giants for the entire time playing Summoner's War. Like, forget that. You need to build an actual Giants team. Dragons, she does good in Dragons too, but again, the same thing. Necropolis, she's really not good for because she doesn't have multi-hit skills. Elemental dungeons. The thing with those though is she does have a speed break and she does do damage based on max HP. So that's okay for things like that. You could use her there, but you could use her. There's just teams you're eventually going to move on from her. You maybe use her in your teams in the beginning, but you're going to move on to something else that's just faster. Then we have Secret Dungeons. She doesn't have any AoEs. Secret Dungeons are AoEs, right? 3-team Rift of World Raids. She's got the speed break. I see some people using Camilla. She would have to be ruined a different way though for that. I would maybe try Frontline for defense. I don't see too many people using it, but I do see some. I do see some using her for raids. Sometimes. Elemental Rift Beasts, not really. No, because it's all about dealing a lot of damage fast with those. Trial of Ascension, not really a single target monster, but she's good for boss stages. Again, she's good for boss stages. She does have a speed break too. Arena, fantastic. I mean, you see the arena leader skill, right? These Valkyrias are all for arena. All for arena, well, not so much for Guild Wars. This one more for Guild Wars than Vanessa, but not all of them are good for Guild Wars. So let's see, arena. She's great for arena. There's two different kinds of and also Guild Wars. For example, if you got a lot of, she could be a tank. If you have a bunch of fire damage dealers, you just stick Camilla in. She can solo teams too. She can solo teams if you have a well-runed Camilla. But arena, I mean, Camillas on defense are annoying. The reason that they're annoying is they can't take debuffs. You can't Zeros, because Camilla's kind of a counter to Zeros, and at high level arena, you're seeing a lot of people that are Zerosing, they're pay-to-play players, and they're just gonna go in with an offensive Zeros, right? So she's kind of a counter to Zeros, because she's gonna take incoming damage reduced by half, right? And she's got a lot of HP. So if you stack a bunch of HP on her, then GG. And also Zeros is gonna put a lot of dots on, and she's just gonna take those off every time Zeros crits with the dots. Of course, you build Zeros to crit a lot, right? So she's kind of a Zeros counter. So arena defense, she's phenomenal for. She's gonna crit too. There's 2 different ways to build her though. There's the tanky way, which is like HP, then just have her as a massive HP tank, or there's a hybrid. There's 2. There's the HP. Or there's a Crit Milla, which is basically an attack, crit damage, attack build, so that she can actually kill things. You do need a defense breaker for that, though. Orion's a nice defense breaker, or like maybe, who's another? Ritesh is a nice defense breaker. I mean, then again, we're like, okay, yeah, because I have Ritesh too, right? But those are nice arena defense breakers to pair Camilla with, like a fine wine to pair Camilla with. But yeah, there's either way, she's either going to be really, really annoying, and you have to. The reason she's a deterrent in arena defense is if she's got enough HP on her, it's going to be really damn hard to kill her. really damn hard because she's gonna reduce your crits. If you put a bomb on her, because bombs are kind of like, Ciara's a nice counter to Camilla. You can put a bomb, and then the bomb is not gonna crit, of course, because it's a bomb. But if you get another turn with Ciara, and you don't have your third skill ready, and you use your first skill and you crit, then the bomb's coming off. Or if you have anything else, and then you crit in the meantime while the bomb is on there, then the bomb's coming off, right? So, yeah. So how do we rune her? Energy, Fatal Blade. Fatal if she's gonna be your farmer. I think the higher level rune builds for her are the Violent and Nemesis. That's ultimately what you want, or maybe Shield. She'll be nice. She's got nice HP. If you want to be able to take the first barrage of damage, then that shield is going to be nice too. Let's see. So I mean, Fatal Swift early game maybe, yeah. Energy early game, yeah. Blade early game, yeah. If you want to do, I mean, Fatal Blade if you want to do like a crit Milla build. But, you know, for farming and stuff like that. But Swift Energy maybe for a tank Milla build. Guard, not really so much. Focus, she only has 1 speed break, so no. Endure, she doesn't really need Endure. Actually, that kind of works. It doesn't work against her necessarily, because you could say Endure's not bad for her. Because you don't want to get Oblivion by Tessarion. If you're using her in Guild Wars, right? Then you don't want to get Oblivion by Tessarion, because then you lose this passive. Also, you don't want to get bombed, so Endure might not be that bad for her. Will, she doesn't really need. So I wouldn't really worry about Endure Will too much, because her passive kind of takes care of a lot of that. You know, sometimes it's nice, sometimes you don't want to get bombed, but her passive kind of takes care of the all the nonsense debuffs. Revenge, if you have a crit Milla, Revenge isn't bad. If you have attack or damage attack, Revenge isn't bad. Nemesis is probably the best thing to do. Also, you want speed subs. Either way you do it, you want speed subs. You want to get like at least 50 speed in substats, because you want her to get still turns, right? You want her to get turns. Violent because she just wants to, you want to use this and recover 10% HP as much as you can while still having her super tanky, right? So Violent and Nemesis is going to give her the most turns and be super annoying. So you get her down some HP, and then she comes right back up with her passive. She just keeps healing. Vampire, really no, because her second skill doesn't work on Vampire. Despair, no, not really. Rage, not really. Early game maybe if you have good rage runes, but I mean, Violent Nemesis, Violent Revenge, Violent Shield is the one that I would do for arena defense if you're going to use her for arena defense. So, all right, but she's a goddess. She's an amazing arena defense boss. I really want her because she's just so annoying. You have to bring something to deal with her because you can't get Zeros with Vanessa. With Camilla. Oh my god, she's kind of anti-Zeros, right? And then she's also, you can double Lucian her, but if you have a tanky Camilla, it's gonna be hard to double Lucian her, right? Because she's got all that damage that Lucian does is gonna be halved. It's gonna be cut in half, and then she's got the Nemesis. She's gonna get another turn. She's gonna keep healing herself up passively. So, yeah, gonna be really annoying. And then we have, who else do we have? Akroma. Akroma. Attacks with Sword Seal of Light is automatically activated if the enemy dies. Seal of Light attacks an enemy, preventing them from using skills with cooldowns for 2 turns. Damage proportionate to enemy's max HP. And then God Shield calls upon the power of Divine Shield, gaining immunity against all harmful effects. Additionally, the chance of all allies receiving a critical hit is reduced by 15%. And we have this amazing leader skill, HP of monsters in the arena. Oh my god, this video is going to be an hour long, seriously. So farming, yeah, she's got, let's look at her base stats. Her base speed is pretty nice, is 116, it's pretty high. Defense is pretty good. Attack is lower than the other ones, because we saw the 801, 714, 703, so this is 681. HP is kind of lower, but she makes up for it by her leader skills. This is another arena. Can we just say her skills are the same basically as the other ones? We don't really need to talk about where she's going to be good. She's going to be good in the same places that the other ones are good for. She's the most similar to Camilla in use because she gains immunity against all harmful effects. And where Camilla cleanses them, she's going to gain immunity from them completely. I really wish I had an Akroma whenever I face the Orion, Ciara, Perna teams in Guild Wars, because Akroma would just bring Akroma and 2 fire monsters and I'm set. Akroma can't get defense broken, can't get heal blocked, can't get stunned, can't get bombed, can't get anything. So Akroma, 2 fire monsters, that means Ciara's always going to target Akroma and Akroma's getting nothing. Nothing. Oh my god, it's so awesome. So awesome. Such an awesome monster. But she's a great monster for arena defense, especially arena offense. Really, you can't do too much with her unless you're gonna unless your arena offense is for some crazy reason Akroma, Praha, and 2 beast monks, because the beast monks are gonna do more damage based on this leader skill, right? Unless that's your arena offense team, then Akroma's really not for arena offense. But she is for arena defense. She's phenomenal for arena defense. So good. I mean, crazy HP leader skill plus the crit resist. All allies have a decreased chance of getting critical hits. So it's crazy. I mean, her first skills are dealing damage based on damage. Her first skills are 2 attacks, right? And she doesn't have a crazy high attack power. So yeah, kinda, not really. She's for arena defense. Right, but she's great for arena defense, but that's really what she's most there for. Let's see. Energy, Fatal Blade really doesn't, she's not really an attacker. Let's see, Swift, Focus, Guard, Endure. She doesn't need Endure, she doesn't need Will. Shield would be okay. Really, you don't want attack runes on her. She's just there to be annoying. She's just there as, like, mainly a support. Like, it says defense for her. She is an arena defense monster. Revenge, really not too much. Nemesis, really not too much. Vampire, no, because she's got this is based on enemy max HP, so you don't really, not Vampire. Destroy, but you could do her the same thing as Camilla, basically. She's either you gonna do her as an attack build, like violent attack or damage attack, like maybe Violent Blade or something, attack or damage attack, or because Violent Nemesis, sorry, Violent Nemesis could be nice, but she doesn't have a passive heal. That's why not Violent Nemesis. But you could do Violent Revenge if you're gonna do attack or damage attack, or you can do just like make her an like a crazy HP tank, right? So there's that as well, just to make her annoying. But you have to put her with healers, because then you really want it to be a stall defense where you can't get beaten because they didn't bring enough damage, and then they have to draw. That's really the whole mindset of using a Akroma. But she's a defense leader skill. She's an arena leader skill for defense, for arena defense, right? Yes. Okay. So. And also, sometimes she could be really clutch in Guild War offense. Or Guild War defense too. But you really have to, you really try to make Akroma the focus of the team, and then build the rest of the team around Akroma. Like, okay, they have to bring something in to deal with Akroma, and then you have to kind of say, this is what they're gonna bring in to deal with Akroma, and then you have to kind of counter those few things. Then we have Trinity. I love Trinity. Oh my god. Trinity's like Vanessa, but on crack, so much better. Trinity's like the level of Samath, right? Maybe not. Okay, maybe a step down from Samath, but still like at that level of awesomeness. So Trinity's got the same leader skill as Vanessa, but Trinity really should be runed similar to Katerina. And here's why. She's got the Sword of Promise, we've seen. Soul Reaper, same thing as Katerina. Damage dealing skill. I know she's an HP monster, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 HP. She's got lower attack than Katerina. She's got lower attack even than Vanessa by a little bit. She's got the lowest attack of all of the Valkyrias. But she's still an attacker. I know she's got the lowest attack, and you'd think, isn't this HP supposed to be on Akroma? I don't understand. Shouldn't this HP be on Akroma, and then, like, Trinity should have a higher attack? What is the matter with this? But she's got 3 damage dealing skills. The final battle begins. Both allies and enemies lose 15% of their HP, and the enemies receive massive additional damage. This is a speed nuke monster. She's a great monster for speed nuke team. The optimal, I mean, this is top tier, would be Trinity, Tiana, Galleon, and maybe another damage dealer. Oh, so good. So you get the first turn with Tiana, you cleanse everyone, you defense break and attack buff. Now you attack buff your team, you defense break their team, and then you just do double AoEs. You get the first turn and you nuke. You got the first turn advantage with the leader skill, and you have an AoE nuke, which is crazy. This is actually 2 hits. It's not 2 hits. One is they lose 15% of their HP, and then there's damage on top of that, after that. So, yeah. AoE 15% of their HP, minimum, and then damage on top of that. It's such a great monster. Such a great monster. So how do we rune her? Let's see. Again, she's got the speed advantage, so really you don't want will as much on her, like will or shield. You have the speed advantage already. It'd be better to go with something like blade on there to make sure you crit at least. But we have energy, fatal. Fatal might be good. Fatal is good. Swift is good. Blade is good. Focus, you don't need focus. Focus is basically useless. Just the same thing as Katerina. Focus is useless on her. Guard, no. She's for nuking. Endure, no, she's for nuking. Revenge could be okay on her. Nemesis, no, she's not a healer. She doesn't need Nemesis. Vampire, she's already got a heal, right? So she doesn't really need Vampire. Destroy, could be okay with Destroy, not bad. Despair, could be okay with Despair. She's got the AoE. AoE is good with Despair. Violent, she could be good with Violent too. Or Rage. I would do Fatal or Rage or Despair. Or Swift. I would do any of those. And maybe Blade. But we want to make sure she at least has good enough, because her base speed is not as good as the other ones, right? Her base speed isn't as good as Katerina and Akroma. Right? It's not 116, it's 101. But she needs to be fast enough to not get interrupted. So if you're using her in a team like that, if you're using not everyone's got Tiana, right? But if you're using her in an arena nuke team, you want her to go, and then you want some kind of attack gauge buffer. You just want everything to go fast and kill things, and you don't want to get interrupted. So make sure she's got enough speed. She's one of the monsters. She needs to be like speed, crit damage, attack, or attack, crit damage, attack with a lot of speed subs. Whatever runes you have that are best for making that happen, whether you have speed, crit damage, maybe you have a slot 2 speed with like really high attack, really high crit damage, really high crit rate, then go speed on slot 2. If you have an attack slot 2, but you have like plus 20 speed on it, oh my god, go speed. But, oh my god, go speed. But if you need to have her on Swift, go Swift, but Fatal or Rage would do the best for her. You could do Despair on her, but I would rather have more damage. Mo damage, baby. But she is so hot. So hot. Alright guys, that's the runes and review for the Valkyrjas, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I know I talked so much. I know this girl's an HP monster, but she's really an attacker. She thinks she's an HP monster, but she's an attacker. She's just very confused. She's got a confusion in here. But also, this girl, their base stats, some of their base stats really don't make the most sense, because this one would be better with speed, right? This one would be better with 116 speed. This one would be better with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 HP. You know, that 703 attack on Vanessa would be better with Trinity at least, even though it's not much of a difference. It's still a little bit of a difference, but yeah, some of them seem like they're kind of like don't know what they are, or maybe base stats should be a little bit different, but it's comp to us. I'm sure they have a reason for doing that. They don't want them to be too OP, even though some of them are already OP. But yeah, these girls are beautiful. I would love to get some of them. I already have, well, I would love to get the other ones that I don't already have, right? So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, runes and review for the Valkyrias. Leave a comment below if you watched this far. Anyway, leave a comment below telling me who you would like to see next. We'll do the 5 stars first. Well, you know what? We may do the 4 stars in between. We're just gonna do a bunch of monsters, right? But I think the 4 and 5 stars first, and then we'll go to the other ones after that. But yeah, oh my god, and we'll try to make them faster than this anyway. We'll try to just not say all the things that they shouldn't be on. We'll just say what they should be for. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you as always. Leave in the comments below what you want to see next. I will see you in the next video.